Good morning, dear students. In the previous session, we studied about the meaning, introduction, definition, right, of human performance appraisal and objectives of performance appraisal, etc. Now, we are going to study about the methods of performance appraisal. It is a broader area, therefore, it has been divided into three sessions. That is Unit 5, Section 5, Unit 5, Section 6, Unit 5, Section 7. Okay, now I'm Dr. Sudarshan B, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Aid College, Beltangadi, here before you to present the topic Methods of Performance Appraisal, that is Section 5, Unit 5, Section 5. Now, methods of performance appraisal. I told you that performance appraisal is a base for fixing remuneration and promotion and all these issues in human resource management. Therefore, methods of performance appraisal should be designed and developed in such a manner that it will represent the actuality of the performance of the employees and without any prejudice as such. So there are many methods of performance appraisal. For our convenience purpose, we have divided into traditional method, then modern method. So now we are going to study even traditional method is also a broader area. Therefore, what we have done is we have have two sessions of the same. Okay, I will tell other things in the subsequent sessions. Now we are going to study about the traditional method of performance appraisal. Under that one or performance appraisal, the first classification is traditional method. Methods of performance appraisal. There are two types of methods of performance appraisal. One is traditional method. Second one is modern methods. When you say traditional methods or trait-based methods, traditional method or trait-based methods. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಮೌಲ್ಯಮಾಪನ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ವಿಧ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಧುನಿಕ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು. ನಾವೀಗ ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ವಿಧಾನ ಕೂಡ ಅವನ್ನ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇದನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳ ಆಧಾರಿತ ವಿಧಾನ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now we will look into the meaning of this. Traditional method of appraisal lay emphasis on the rating of individuals' personality traits, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನು ಆಧಾರವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಅಪ್ರೈಸಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಗ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟ್ರೈಟ್ಸ್ as the initiative taken by the employees, dependability, drive, creativity, integrity, intelligence, leadership potential, etc. So all individual factors will be considered for the performance appraisal in case of traditional method. Following are some of the traditional methods used to appraise the employees or trait-based performance appraisal. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನು ಆಧಾರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವನ ಕೆಲಸದ ಮೌಲ್ಯಮಾಪನವನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು. ಅಂತ ವಿಧಾನಗಳು ಯಾವುವು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಗ್ರೇಡಿಂಗ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಅಂಡರ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಿ ವೇಟೆಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಒನ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ of performance evaluation, and at some points we will discuss in this session, and the following session will continue with the same topic. Now first one, grading. In this method, certain features like analytical ability, cooperativeness, dependability, job knowledge, etc. are selected for evaluation. Employees' analytical abilities, cooperativeness, dependability, job knowledge, etc. are selected as a criteria for evaluation. The employees are given grades according to the judgment of the judgment of the rater, one who evaluator. So the employees are given grades according to the judgment of the evaluator or rater. For example, the grades may be such as A, outstanding performance, B, very good, C, satisfactory, D, average, and E, below average. So on the basis of this grade, the performance will be decided and pay can be given, or promotion can be given, or training can be given. So further decisions can be taken on the basis of the grade which is given by the evaluator on the basis of the individual attributes of an employee in the organization. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಗ್ರೇಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣಾತ್ಮಕ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ, ಸಹಕಾರ, ಅವಲಂಬಿತನ, ಕೆಲಸದ ಬಗೆಗಿನ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ABCDE ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಎ ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಇ ಬಿಲೋ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಪೇ ಫಿಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಯಾವುದು, ಇದನ್ನ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಗ್ರೇಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. Second one, checklist method. Under this method, the rater is given a checklist. The rater is given a checklist which contains a list of statements based on which the rater describes the job performance of employees. So checklist will be given. On the basis of that, the employee's performance is rated by the rater or evaluator. The statements in the checklist describes the behavior of the employees on a job. Each statement is checked by the rater to indicate whether the behavior of an employee is positive or negative. There will be some criteria in the checklist, and on the basis of that, employee's behavior will be measured either positive or negative. Ultimately, the performance of the employee is rated based on the numbers of positive checks. And we will look into the positive points, and on the basis of that, the information, the employee will be rated or evaluated. ಸೊ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿಗೆ ರೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಳಿದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಲಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಬ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿವೆ. ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸಬ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾರಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, and so the supervisor has to answer it either yes or no. After filling these questions, the checklist are sent to personnel department where the final rating is done. So yes or no ಇರುವಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Do you find this job is easy? Yes or no? He writes yes. If he writes no, then okay, depending upon the attitude of employee, right? Response of the employee. Then later personnel department will verify that response from the employee, and the rate will be given to such a final rating will be given to such a employees. This is called simple checklist, right? Next, point B, weighted checklist, like a weighted average. This method is also used to avoid personal prejudice. This method is also used to avoid personal prejudice. ಪೂರ್ವಾಗ್ರಹ ಪೀಡಿತವನ್ನ ತಡೆದು ಒಬ್ಬನ ಮೌಲ್ಯಾಂಕನ ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಕೆಲಸದ ಮೌಲ್ಯಾಂಕನವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ವಿಧಾನ ವೆಯ್ಟೆಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಂತಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ time consuming and relatively costly affair. So somehow it is lengthy, time consuming and costly relatively costly affair. In this method, depending on the relative importance, weights are assigned to different statements in the checklist, which is as follows. So in the checklist, there will be questions, but weightage will be given to each questions based on its importance. And at regularity, say for that point may be little more, 0.5 regularity to work, right? Regularity to work. The performance scale rating is 1 to 5. That's the range. So here, when you say regular to work, 0.5 weightage is given. Dependability 1.0, loyalty 2.0, leadership potential 1.5. So this is a different rates are given on the basis of the weightage to each criteria. This is called weighted checklist method. Next, C, forced choice checklist. In this checklist, five statements are given for each trait. Five statements are given for each trait. Out of these statements, two are the most descriptive type. Two are the most descriptive type, while other two are the least descriptive statements with one neutral statement. 5 points, right? Two are highly descriptive, two are the least descriptive, and one has a neutral. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 5 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 5ರಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಒಳ್ಳೆದ್ರನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ, ಹೈಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿವ್ ವಿವರಣಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇನ್ನು 2 ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಟ್ಟದ ವಿವರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ತಟಸ್ಥ ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. The aim is to maximize rater's personal bias. The aim is to minimize the rater's personal bias. ಆಗ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಪ್ರಿಜುಡಿಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹಂಗೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ರೇಟರ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ bias or to the aim is to minimize the rater's personal bias under the forced choice checklist method. Next, critical incident method. In this method of performance appraisal, the evaluator rates the employee on the basis of their behavior at the time of critical events that occur during the course of work. So some such critical conditions or events may happen during the work time or during the working hour or in the course of work. Then the such behavioral aspects of employee will be measured, and it help them to get some insight on his performance. The assumption made in this method is that performance of the employee on the happening of critical incidents determines his failure or success. Such critical time, how he is doing the job, right? That determines his or her failure or success. Critic incident method has both negative and positive point. Both negative and positive point. If he has done in spite of that critical incident, he is getting positive point. In spite of that, because of that critical incident, he performed poorly, then negative points. It provides an objective basis, objective, not subjective, objective basis to discuss an employee's performance. In that condition or in that juncture also, he performed well means what? He is capable of, right? He is committed. Therefore, he gets a positive point for the same, right? ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅದರ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಡಲಾಗತ್ತೆ. Next, ranking method. Ranking method. It is one of the oldest and simplest techniques of performance appraisal. Ranking method is one of the oldest and simple method of performance appraisal. Here, the appraiser ranks the employee from the best to the poorest on the basis of their overall performance by considering employees' overall methods, overall performance. We are going to give rank to them, right? From the best to the poorest on the basis of their overall performance. A list is then prepared for ranking the workers in order of their performance on the job. So, on the basis of the performance, the rank list is prepared, right? Prepared, keeping the excellent employee at the top while the poor one at the bottom. So, keeping the top one excellent, right? Up to 10 excellent, right? Then poor, that is lowest in the list are the poor performers. Employees at the top, while that is keeping the excellent employees at the top and while the poor one at the bottom. It is quite useful for a comparative evaluation. This kind of statement is very useful for a comparative evaluation. It compares all the employees in single rating group regardless of type of work they are doing. So instead of taking type of work, the rating is done in the uniform way or a single rating group regardless of the type of the work they do. So this is called ranking method of performance appraisal. So topper is excellent, then bottom is the poorest. That's the rank. So these are all the methods under traditional system. Grading checklist we have discussed now, simple checklist, weighted checklist, forced choice method, then critical incident method and ranking method. So remaining methods will be studied in the next session because it is a broader area, and we are, for our convenience purpose, we have divided into several sub sessions. Okay, so go through this. You can expect a 24 marks question in this area. Define performance appraisal, explain the methods of performance appraisal, and some more sessions are covered in this topic. Let's conclude this part of methods of performance appraisal now, and we will continue it in the next session. With this, I conclude this session. Thank you.